Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's nice to have you. I just want to cover a few more points about practical tips in terms of helping your child to read. Now, if your child has had a dyslexia diagnosis and they struggle to read, what your next steps are really depend on what stage the child is at. So what I want to do here is I just want to mention a couple of things that actually would be helpful whatever stage the child is at. And the first of these is reading with your child. Now, if this is not something that you already do regularly, I strongly suggest that you start reading with your child. And that could be reading to your child, maybe a book that the child isn't quite ready to read themselves, or reading with the child so that you take turns. You know, maybe you read one page and the child reads the next page. You can decide. Obviously, that depends on the level of the book and the level that the child is at. So that is something that you can start on straight away. The other thing that I strongly suggest, and I think I've mentioned this before, is music. I strongly suggest singing together. And this might be awkward to start with, but singing together, whether you're reading the words or learning the words, it doesn't really matter, is extremely good for language development. So what's useful about it is obviously there are words, and the child is using a vocabulary that perhaps they wouldn't use because songs tend to have rhymes in them, and they're written in such a way as it's not always natural to the way you would speak. So learning to sing in poetic terms, in lyric terms, as opposed to in prose, is very good for language skills. The rhyming is very good for language skills. But something else that's really important is breathing. Now, when we sing, we have to hold our breath. You can't necessarily take a breath naturally where you would if you were talking, partly because the language is different, but also because the music itself might dictate, for example, holding a note to the end of the bar. That often happens, and you can't take a breath then. You have to hold the note right to the end. And this is very good for all sorts of things internally in the body. And the reason why it's so good for you is because what you're doing when you're singing is you're breathing in quickly and then letting the air out slowly as the line or the rest of the song progresses. And that is very good physiologically for the body. It's a really good way of calming down if you're feeling stress or anxiety. And so if you can build singing into your daily routine, even if it's just one song, that is very good, not just for language skills, but actually for the whole body, for the whole mind and body. Everything there is improved with singing. And I've even heard it said that singing under the age of 7 is actually more beneficial to literacy skills than actually reading. It seems counterintuitive. I don't know if it's true, but I thought I'd share that. I have heard it. So these are two things that you can get on with no matter what stage your child is at. And I hope you do, and I hope to see you back next time. So thanks very much for joining me. Bye.